Okay, we have a reading request on whether or not China will invade Taiwan in this decade. Specifically, is the timeline, but is China going to invade Taiwan? So, random word, nutmeg, random number 63. Okay. China and Taiwan. One more here. All right. And we'll give it the old Kutsky. Oop. All right. So our root card is the reverse 10 of wands. And the 10 of wands is basically a bunch of shit work that someone has to do, or it's like a burden. And the 10 of wands reversed shows a crushing burden. The main card, we get the 4 of pentacles. So let's just put this down at the bottom. Now I'm going to put one over here. Okay. And over here. Okay. So, the way that I would read the 10 of wands is kind of that the burden would be too great. Or it would have to be in response to a crushing burden. Like, I'm assuming that would be a resource type deal, but if they had a crushing burden as far as resources went, then that could prompt an invasion. Now here in the 4, it shows someone hesitant to move forward through the portal because they didn't want to lose this thing that they were holding on to. Now, I don't pretend to understand the economic ramifications of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, but this would look like a hesitation because of not wanting to lose money. Now, the 4 of Pentacles also shows here with this, the clock that's ticking, that this might be inevitable. But with the 4, I guess I wouldn't expect it to happen anytime soon. And the cards that surround it, so we have the Chariot, which is goal-oriented movement, right? And the Chariot is all about sort of having a specific goal and moving toward that. It also does kind of speak of like logistics and transportation and that sort of thing. But that shows up on the side where the person, like, they don't want to lose this stuff and they're afraid of like moving forward. But even on the side of moving forward, we have a 2 of swords, and the 2 of swords is like being deadlocked within oneself. Looking at all of this together, I would not read this as China invading Taiwan. Now, not too long ago, in January, I did a reading about the potential of Russia invading Ukraine. And after looking at that reading, I said, no, I don't think that an invasion would happen. So it is possible that if I knew more about this situation, I might be seeing shit in here that would say, like, yes, of course, that's an invasion. And I think if I knew more about the Ukraine Russia situation when I did the reading, I would have been able to see at the very least an occupation of eastern Ukraine. But looking at this now, with what I know of the situation, this does not look like an invasion. Now, if you happen to see images or whatever in here that speak more, if you know more about the situation and you're looking at this and you're like, oh my God, that's an obvious invasion, then feel free to let me know. But let's just see out of this whole hesitation and like whatever, let's see what sort of comes out of it. And we get the magician, and the magician is the master of many skills. It's interesting because the magician has shown up several times in the whole Russia Ukraine thing. And the thing that really sticks out about that is the figures who are kind of observing the magician. It's like the country's government is expected to do a very specific thing, like they are performing, and the other ones are watching and approving. So here, like, whatever this fucking secret understanding that the world governments seem to have, uh, whatever that is, this would show China basically performing properly and also showing mastery of many skills. Now, I know that could be an argument of why China wouldn't give a shit and would invade Taiwan because they can fucking do all this stuff themselves and they would worry less about sanctions. But here, throughout this, I would not read this as an invasion in the next decade, as was the stated question. And here it looks like this is, China sort of showing all the various things they can do and impressing everyone. But it is interesting too in the four because this would kind of show that that sort of moving forward for them would kind of be inevitable. But the timeline posed in the question is a 10-year timeline, and this does not look like that would be the case. So that's what we get here. If you have any questions or comments or aspects, that you would like to see this looked at from, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. And peace.